All right?
Yeah.
Give you £10 in a bag of sweets if you get in.
No way.
20 quid in a bag of sweets if you get in.
No.
All right, 50 quid in a bag of sweets if you get in.
No, Dad. I'm not going to Old Trafford again to watch that crap.
Welcome back to Talking Turf. We're back and we're live. You all right, Gary?
Well, yeah, not bad yourself.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is, You got to laugh, lad.
That was you. That was Fletcher last night.
Oh,
Okay, back. I'm not.
no.
I'm back. Yeah, welcome back to Talking Turf. Thanks everybody for joining me. If you want to get involved in the show, give us some grief, whatever you want to do, then call the number on the bottom now, 07469 710070, and we'll get you on. Swearing, well, you can swear if you want, because we're going to do plenty of that tonight, no doubt, Gary. So obviously we weren't on last week due to commitments and stuff and whatnot, so I think it's only fair if we'll start off quickly, and we'll just quickly flick through it. Last week's fixtures, not the week's just gone, the week before. We'll start off at Craven Cottage in London. Fulham 3, Newcastle United 1. What do you make of that?
Oh, good result for Fulham, wasn't it? I think he called it, didn't you? I said I thought Newcastle would win, but Fulham come up trumps, and like I say, he called that one.
Aye. Newcastle never used to do very well in London. And I knew that they would get something off City. One, Rodri obviously being injured, but City had a lot of games running up to it. Newcastle obviously not in Europe this season, so they've been on a beach for 5 days, having plenty of rest. So you would expect them to get something. You know what I mean? It's the best players missing. Newcastle's full strength, apart from I think it was
Isaac. I think's injured.
Aye. And they could have won it quite easily, but we'll come to that. But Fulham, 3-1 to Fulham. Didn't expect anything else, me personally. I knew Fulham would turn them over. Quickly, West Ham 0, Chelsea 3, Gary. Another good result for Chelsea there. Potential title favourites, you reckon?
I did see it at I think when we done the predictions at the beginning of the season, I said that I thought Chelsea would be the ones to, like, a team to watch this season, because not just because of like the squad and the players that they've bought, but if you remember, I was astounded that Pochettino left Chelsea, because from Christmas onwards, Chelsea were the most informed team last season. And you remember, they come from nowhere, and they're not like ourselves and Newcastle, one of them European spots, didn't they? Because they come from absolutely nowhere. And they've hit the ground running, like they're scoring for absolute fun, aren't they?
Oh, they are, mate. And I mean, like, you know, this PIF or whatever, I think they've got a lot to come to, but like I've said all along, I think this Bowley's a clever bloke, mate. I think like he knows all about like what goes on and stuff. So I don't even know. He may be boxing clever. Do you know what I mean? Like, anybody could be that in your face buying like whoever they wanted if they didn't have some kind of backup, because they know what's coming. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but they've definitely got to be at the minute of the form is favourites, because they're absolutely. And then the weekend again, we'll come to that. I'll just flick through the rest of the scores so we don't get lost in last week's, right? So it was West Ham 0, Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 3, Wolves 1, winning the derby down in Birmingham. Obviously, Fulham 3, Newcastle 1, Leicester 1, Everton 1. Everton picking up an important away point there. Liverpool at home to Bournemouth, Liverpool winning 3-0. Southampton 1, Ipswich 1, Spurs 3, Brentford 1, and Crystal Palace 0, Man United 0. Just quickly touch on that. We could have been 4-0 up at half time. If we had a striker, we could have literally been 4-0 up at half time. And that's kind of, I think,
be the downfall.
It's just so frustrating, mate.
I mean, their keeper was excellent. Like, so obviously,
of course he's gonna be. You know what I mean? He's trying to prove a point. You know, like you watch him again. I don't know, like how they got on at the weekend. We'll come to it. See what kind of game he had there. You know, he is a good keeper. I didn't get his wrong, but you know, like when you're playing against your old club who kind of like kept you as a reserve, it's just enough fire in your belly there to like have the best game of your life. Do you know what I mean? And he did. Frustrating 0-0 draw down in the capital. Right, let's move on to this weekend.
What about City Arsenal?
What
about City Arsenal? See what people's views is on that sending off and stuff as well.
City Arsenal. Have I missed it? Like,
it was 2-2, wasn't it, on the Sunday?
Oh yes. In fact, both the Sunday games were 2-2. Brighton 2, Forest 2, City 2, Arsenal 2. Yeah, you're right, mate. In fact, because you brought that up, I want to quickly say, is it gone too far to say that Premier League referees are spoiling the Premier League? Let us know in the comments what you think about that. I personally, so far this season, and not just because of what happened with Bruno Fernandes yesterday, because he was shite anyway, and we played better with 10 men, I thought. Just in general, I think I didn't have that out of the league. And VAR's been brought in to try and help them. And I think it's getting worse.
Oh, it is, definitely. It's as if like the referees didn't even know what they're doing half the time. Like, I think human judgment has just gone out the window, and they're trying to play by a book that's been written by a bunch of idiots, in my opinion, that have never played the game. I mean, this like nudging the ball and stuff like that, I get it. Like some of it, I mean, but Jesus, I mean, some of these send-offs, especially that one for Arsenal last week. I mean, the ball was in midair as Trossard gans to kick it. Like, and he does half-heartedly kick it, but he hasn't like slowed the player down because the ball was still in midair when he kicked it. Like, so even if he had left it, it would have ran away from where he was. You know what I mean? He didn't like delay the start that much. I get like when we look back at the Rice one and stuff, he'd flick it away and the lad could have started, but he knew what he was doing. I get that, but I think that one last week was just absolutely crazy.
It is, and like personally, Gary, I think City would have won that game had he not got sent off. I think because he got sent off, it sent Arsenal in at half time, and Arteta totally turned it on its head and he went, "Look, we're going to defend for our life," and they literally defended for their life. Had he not got sent off, they wouldn't have had to do that, and they would have still played that game. It would have been a good game, but I think City would have topped it. I think City would have won it. I just think it helped them getting that sending off. As mad as that sounds,
they just camped at the back.
Camped completely.
Spoiled the game, really.
Spoiled the game. Spoiled what should have been an absolutely fantastic game. And again, like referees making it about them. You know, like why just go and officiate the game? You know, like I get what you're saying, right? And I said to you the other week, yeah, like he's kicked the ball away. It's the law of the game. I get that, but that's kicking the ball away and kicking the ball away. Do you know what I mean? That's frustration and blasting the ball into the crowd or blasting it against the banners or whatever. But when they're nudging it or they're doing this or they're doing that, there needs to be a little bit of sensibility here by the referees and going, look, I've seen what you did. Do it again. You're getting booked.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not like a second yellow saying off. It's crazy.
Even when they're running a card, they're like, boom, you're off.
Go on. Spoils the game.
It is. Really is, mate. So that finished 2s each. City obviously scored in the last second of the game, just about, you know what I mean? Like, held out. And I hate Arsenal, as you know, and as everybody knows, I hate Arsenal. But I felt sorry for them because I thought they deserved to win the game, you know, like because of how hard they defended. Like, I thought, they've got this. They've done real here. And then with a knee where they always seem to do it. That's why they're champions, isn't it?
No, that's it. It is that's ultimately why they do. Even though I thought, like, they were saying in commentary, like, because on the edge of the 18-yard box, you had Ruben Diaz, wasn't he? And he was the one that was, like, sat in the middle, and you thought, well, surely you're going to put, like, I think he did in the end, didn't he, move forward into more, like, central. Because you're thinking, well, you're playing everything, so, like, Ruben Diaz is your centre-half. Like, surely you may as well just put him in the box. So he's got more chance of winning the header, and let one of the creative players just sit on the edge. You know, it was spoiled by that send off, in my opinion. But like you say, Arsenal, they'll probably disappoint with a point, but they would have took it before going there, I think.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. 100%. So we'll move on, Gary, to this week, but quickly, we'll just touch on the Championship, obviously, because we've got a couple of local teams in the Championship as well. We've got Middlesbrough and Stoke. Middlesbrough and Sunderland. Middlesbrough were playing Stoke in the 1-2-0. Another good win for Michael Carrick and Middlesbrough. Sunderland, unfortunately, went down to Watford and got beat 2-1. 1-0 at half-time. They get back in it just after half-time, and then a late goal from Deli Bashiri. A penalty, actually. Give all 3 points to Watford. But still keeps Sunderland second in the table. West Brom's top on 16, Sunderland's on 15, and Borough's on 11. I was saying to you last night on the way home, you've got Blackburn, Burnley, Leeds, Sheffield United, Borough, Sunderland. How great would it be if we could get 3 teams up from up north? Got a few of the Southerners. Would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be, especially the way the fixture list's running these days. I mean, they're obviously trying to make it better for TV rights and stuff like that, but I mean, for travelling fans and stuff, it means either really late nights or you having to stay in hotels and stuff, and the cost just keeps going up and up, doesn't it? So they've got to look at it somewhere down the line, I think.
Definitely. 12:30 kickoffs at Southampton is just no good for anybody. Nobody.
Yeah, it's not.
Right, before we move on to the Premier League this weekend, we've got quite a lot of messages here. Geordie Tune for Life. Evening, lads. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Evening, Geordie.
Lee Fairgrieve says, hi. Hello, Fazza. Geordie Tune for Life. We only talk to fans whose clubs are in the top 10. He says, Isaac and Botman were injured at the weekend, and you Spurs would turn you over. Why do you think Fulham would turn us over, Melly? We've beaten them the 5 times down there. I just didn't think you're very good, if I'm being honest. It'll be like proper Newcastle. Who are they playing this weekend? Everton away. They can't get absolutely humped this weekend against Everton. But you'll turn up against your big games, like Man United, because we are still the biggest club in the world. We're your cup final. City come to town. Boom, you turn it on. Liverpool do. You turn it on and you play. You've got to admit, that game is the first game you can watch and say that, we did well there. Because the rest of the games, I don't know how you've got the points you've got, mate, to be honest with you. Your Tom there, all right, chaps, absolutely terrible yesterday. Wasn't even that good, Tom, honestly. Absolutely diabolical, mate. Damien, 100%, they're far too soft. VAR has killed the game, 100%, mate.
Definitely. I mean, I think we've touched on it at the beginning of the season. I think they were breaking records for fun about how many cards was given out in games and stuff like that. It's every single tackle is every foul is a yellow card, and it's not it needs looked at plain and simple, really, doesn't it?
I'm going to come to it, right? But you're right. Is it Romero handballs it yesterday? Did you see that?
It was Stonewall. For what they're giving pens for these days, it's a pen, but how's VAR not looking at that though?
They didn't even look at it.
I know, that's what I mean. It's mental.
Bonkers, mate. But the life of being Man United, some of them, yes, but VAR needs gone simple. Can anybody tell me who they think is a good, fair ref in the Premier League? It might be different for us, Gary, because we seem to think that everybody's against it, don't we? No. Whereas back in the days, everybody knows, Howard Webb and stuff, But now it seems like it's gone full circle. We're scared to get Man United out. Aye.
Well, that's it.
Turned on its head completely. I wonder if other people feel like that as well.
You just want consistency, though, don't you?
Eh?
You just want consistency. if they're giving one thing for one, then it should be the same at the other end of it. That's only because then you can anyway. To be fair, I mean, he did give that to him at that end of the pitch, and then you think, well, right, so he's give both ways, but it doesn't like even in the same games, man. Like one thing will happen at one, and then Gam do the other, and it's a different outcome, and you think, well, it's just crackers, isn't it?
It is consistency. To be fair, I don't think Bruno's challenge was a red card. Yes, yellow, but that's all. Yeah, we're going to come to that, mate. But we'll agree with you. Fernandez should be banned for 6 matches. How are you, Bournemouth? My second favourite team, says Martin Gallen. He's in the last man standing for Elton Jr.'s under 8s, and that's him and Tony Messenger left. Tony's 3-1 Chelsea. Bournemouth get beat tonight. Tony wins. If Bournemouth win, Martin and Tony are the last 2. Good luck, mate. I think it'll be a good game. I've got it on behind us here. Ten Hag, in or out? I'm coming to that, Josh. 100% in for me, but I think Gary might be thinking differently. Brandon Hedges. Oi, oi, Melly. It's Brandon. When you taking me to my first Man United game? Brandon, 100%.
You can take my tickets next week.
Aye. You can have them. If anybody doesn't know, Brandon's granddad, Ian Hedges, and Brandon's dad, Ian, took me to my first games when I was just a little kid, and that was it. I was hooked. So honestly, it'll be an absolute honour to return the favour to you, son. And I'll be in touch with your mum and dad, and we'll get it sorted before Christmas, definitely. But listen, don't be disappointed, because it's not like when your granddad took me. Geordie Tune for Life. Melly, you hate everyone but Eric Ten Hag. Smell the coffee, for fuck's sake. He's not a good coach. 600 million spent, 20 players bought, and no style of play. It's embarrassing. Mate, like, was it Eric Ten Hag that kept giving the ball away at the back, or not marking his marker, or not scoring the goals? These guys are getting paid millions of pounds, man, to do that, man. They're professionals. Like, too many coaches have been chucked under the bus at Manchester United. I can understand if he was the first coach since Sir Alex Ferguson. He's not. He's the 6th. And every single one's being chucked under the bus by these players. We've got to stop blaming the coach. He's obviously got a philosophy. He's won leagues in the Dutch league. He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. But they're just, these lot, honestly, we're coming to it. We're coming to it. Damien, that's a tough question to answer, that one, as the next manager will probably end up in the same situation. Evening, Gary. Says Geordie life. Billy Noble, big games like Man United. And don't you know it, Billy? Don't you know it? Man U, a big club in history. You're not that club anymore. Fact. Yes, we are. And yes, you hate to admit it. Doesn't matter. We could end up in the conference and would still be your biggest game, man. You know, lad, says Geordie Turnbull. Obviously, Johnny. It came off his body first, then his arm. 2 handballs robbed from us. I know we played shy, but we should have been given them pens. If that was us doing that, it would have been given. Billy Noble is Oliver. Michael Oliver's number 1, says Martin Gallen. Obviously, he's a Toon fan, so you can see why they're saying that. Good set of players. Maybe need fresh ideas and tactics. Geordie Toon for Life's also saying Michael Oliver. I'm not disputing the fact that he is a good referee, but there always seems to be a big decision made in these big games that he refs. Always. Like, it's some way, shape, or form. It's a boot, like him, not so much him, like the referee, you know, like,
aye.
Always, if you can't back through all the big games, something's happening in each and every one of them.
It was him that sent Trossard off last week.
Was it?
Aye.
There you go, man. You know what I mean? Watch match of the day last night. All the post-match crack was refs' decisions. What happened to entertaining football being discussed? It's all negative in the game now. We are lacking flair players. Ray, you're right. You're 100% right, mate. Like, somebody, I've been arguing with somebody on Twitter the day, and they were saying something.
Was it not Keir Starmer?
Eh?
Was it not Keir Starmer?
He's getting enough grief. He doesn't need anymore. Like they were on about, like, we've got any plan, we've got any philosophy, we've got any. I says, look, man, you're playing football. You're playing football. You're not flying spaceships. You're not, you're not directing like ferries through oceans. You're playing football. You've got 2 goals. Pass the ball to your teammates and score. And when they've got the ball, help your teammates and tackle them. That's it. Why is it all complicated? Why is people putting numbers, letters, science into football? Just play football. Do you agree or not?
Of course I do. It's the day make it sound like it's like rocket science. It's not.
Not. And if Eric Ten Hag is going to be like held responsible for buying all these players, like he's buying professional footballers, people who have gone through systems, scouting systems, top clubs all their life to get to this position, to then come onto the football pitch and look like they've never played football before in their life. How can he like guess that that's what they're going to be like? Mate,
you cannot.
You cannot. Nail on the head, Gary, says Peter Painter. Even Peter, RE reps inconsistent.
Hello,
We've got the Scouser on, Kai Rowley, seen tags, 10 Ags, last 28 games in charge, 1 loss, less than Neville's time in charge at Valencia. Melly, he bought them and coaches them, and he picks the style of players. Evening, lad, says your Amanda. Good evening, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
They played like they want Eric Ten Hag sacked 100 million%. 100 million%. That's exactly what they're doing. Is it cool doing there? We had the new Uriah Rennie the other week and was a good ref. Now he's taking the piss with that name or what? Is he?
No, because he's not ref, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
He was the coloured ref, wasn't he?
Right. Uriah Rennie.
Aye.
Slap me more than 5 hours called that. Whilst I have the chance, Melly, mate, just want to say thanks again for the help of the girls on Sat. Cracking game. Excellent win. Aye, brilliant. Always good to beat the Newcastle teams because they hate it. And I love it. Put the ball between the posts. Easy game. 100%. Ten Hag doing a great job. Leave him alone, man. Somebody's speaking sense at last. Martin Gallen, thank you very much. He's being sarcastic, but he's speaking sense. Let's move on to this week's last week's fixtures. Let's start at St. James's Park. Newcastle United won. Man City won. 62% as expected possession for Manchester City to Newcastle's 38%. Like I say, Newcastle full lineup. Gvard scores before half time. Just after the second half, Newcastle get a dubious penalty, I must say, and Anthony Gordon puts it away. Not long after, they probably should have had a penalty on Joe Linton. But Newcastle had chances that they could have won the game, Gary.
No, definitely. I mean, I told you, didn't I? I fancied Newcastle for the same reasons that City had 2 games midweek. And I just thought, like, Newcastle always do well against City at home. But I think that second pen was more of a penalty than the first one, in my opinion. Like, it'd be interesting to see what the Toon fans think. It wasn't just a penalty, though. They did have, like, some... I think it was from about, like, 60 minutes. There was about a 15-minute spill in the game after 1-1. And Newcastle were pushing, and you just felt like at that time they had to get that second goal, and then when they didn't, like, the tide started turning again, and City like controlled the game, I would say, for the last sort of like 10-15, and then looked like they would maybe nick it. Pulled off a couple of good saves, but all in all, good point for the Toon, I think.
And like a lot of people are now, we're calling Nick Pope and stuff, his distribution and stuff. But I tell you what it is, he's kept them in the game the last few games. He's pulled off some cracking saves. Obviously not Fulham when they got beat 3-1. But at the weekend there, Bernardo Silva, was it Silva? Next on his chest, turns.
Hits a volley.
And that's like kind of like Adam, but he's still got to make that save. It like, you know what I mean?
I think there was one when Haaland went through, didn't he? Haaland went through and he come and he just wiped everything out. Love to see that. He's
a good keeper, to be fair. Like, maybe his distribution is bad, but you can rely on him. The back four now that if a shot's coming in, his chances are he's going to save it. Like he doesn't miss much, to be fair. But I echo what you say. Newcastle could have quite easily won it. They've got to take their chances while on top. The thing is, when Newcastle win the play of City, is they normally have a good first half, and then they sit on the lead that they've got, and then City pick them off in the second half, because you cannot sit back against City because they'll just pick you off. And Newcastle didn't do that this time. They come out all guns blazing, obviously because they're a goal down. It's different to what they're normally in front. And I know this because I always gone freeze each with Newcastle City, because it's just normally a lot of goals, or half time, full time. One team to be winning half time, the other had to be winning full time. So it's a good point. It's a point against the champions, but could have quite easily been 3 points, couldn't it?
Aye, no, definitely aye.
Billy Noble saying we'll let them off. If Isaac had played, we would have won. Billy, I actually agree with you. If Isaac had been playing, you probably, chances are you would have won that. The Joe Linton one, is it a pen? I'm not sure, because if that was against us, fans would say it differently. Excuse me. Toon actually had a better expected goal than City. Let's see if you're telling the truth, Peter. Yes, they did. 1.31 to City's 1.12. Oi, boys, says Lee Small. Hello, Smiley. All right, son. So I mean, we'll see what happens this weekend. Like I say, it was the cup final again at the weekend. They're going away to Everton. Everton's obviously will come to Everton, but they've picked a little bit of form up in the last couple of weeks. Tough place to go because they don't really like each other, Everton and Newcastle fans and stuff. We'll see. But I honestly, hand on my heart, shoot as if you want. I believe that Newcastle's going to go in there and get beat, but we'll come to the predictions as well. We'll move on. Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Half time, it looked like they could have went home, half of them, and just sent the reserves out for the second half. Martinelli and Trossard scoring, making it 2-0 Arsenal. But then within 25 minutes of the restart, it's back to 2s each. Justin James, I think he's called. Is that right? James Justin. Scoring 2 off the belt, making it 2s each in a sweaty time for Arsenal. And it takes, there's 9 minutes injury time added on the 90 minutes, Gary. And an own goal from Leicester makes it 3-2 to Arsenal on 90 plus 4. And then obviously, the gates are open because there would have been counter-attacking Leicester, and Havertz scores in the 99th minute. 99th minute of the fixture, finishing Arsenal 4, Leicester 2.
Looks like it was harder than what it was meant to be for them, doesn't it? I think they made a lot of changes through the week, Arsenal, but still, I can assure you that realistically, there isn't really any easy games in the Premier League. On the day, any team's capable of beating any team, and that just goes to show you. Obviously, Arsenal probably one of the better teams in the league, and Leicester's went there and could have gotten something out of it.
Definitely. Another win for Arsenal after the disappointing draw the week before. They got a draw through the week as well, didn't they? If I remember rightly, against they won 5-1 against Bolton.
In the cup.
I was thinking the week before in the Champions League, it was now each won it. So Arsenal again. You've got to take them seriously. Although, like I say, I really didn't like them. It's the manager really I didn't like. I hate that Arteta. He's always standing on the sidelines, isn't he? Like right on the line, getting in the way of like throw-ins and stuff like that, and just irritates us. He proper irritates us. I hate him. Moving on. Brentford 1, West Ham 1, and Benbow scores for Brentford. And Souček scores for West Ham. 1s each. I don't know there's much more we can say about that. The standings for them two are 11th and 14th. 2 points between them. I don't know what we went for, Gary. We maybe need to start writing them down so we can look back to see what we thought it would be. That would be interesting. But I think we probably would have went for a draw both of us, to be fair.
Aye, maybe he's aye. That Mbeumo's had a good start of the season, and I think he's scored quite a few in. Every time the play seems to be scoring, so for the fantasy leagues, he's probably good enough to put in, isn't he?
Aye, definitely. I'm looking here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got at least 5. Scored a lot in pre-season. Good member the squad. Any squad player, bring him on. There's a goal in him.
Definitely.
But it's Brentford. He seems to be the pivotal man, doesn't he? He's always he'd be first on the team sheet. Here. Moving on to the Cole Palmer show. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Brighton take an early lead through Rutter. Palmer scores. Sancho has a goal disallowed in the 23rd. Palmer scores a penalty in the 28th. He scores again in the 31st. And he becomes the first man in the Premier League to score 4 goals in the first half. Scoring on the 41st second minute. Assisted by Jadon Sancho. Honestly, couldn't make it up. But Belieber scores before he gets his 4th. Finishes 4-2. Stat-wise, Brighton had more possession, 59% to Chelsea's 41. But the expected goals for Chelsea's was 3.31 and 1.14 for Brighton. What can I say about this? Chelsea's obviously hit a lot of form. I expected Brighton to be a little bit better, Gary, than what they've... Because let's have a look at their results. They've had 1 win in 5. That was obviously against Wolves in the EFL Cup. Apart from that, they've got 3 draws there and a loss now. So, where they're still sitting 9th above Man United. But they're not doing as well as I thought they would. I thought they looked really good.
No, they did. But like you say, I mean, Chelsea, they're a good side, and they're gonna like. They're not great defensively, but the way the setup is just to beat teams. So I mean, as a Chelsea, like if you're a Chelsea fan, you're probably looking forward to getting every game because I think like our games has had like over 5 goals or somewhere thereabouts. You know what I mean? Apparently, I think it was Tim Sherwood that was watching that game now on Sky Sports News when I was watching England Saturday or something, and I'm sure that Nicholas Jackson had like 14 of the shots or something. Like in total, and the reckon he should have had more than Cole Palmer. Like that's how like so that game could have been anything. This is like Chelsea should have had a good 7 or 8.
Wow.
So they're creating a lot.
That Nico Jackson's like what do you call it? Isn't he? He's like hitty missy. When he's on fire, he score for fun from anywhere, and then other times he's like a
missing sitters.
Ami Obi.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's the chances they're creating. All right.
He starts firing. They've got a massive squad. You've got to take them seriously.
You've got to.
All right. Moving on to the good day down in Goodison Park, because like I just said to you before, Gary, I didn't know this, mate. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1, and a week after he has the game of his life, Dean Henderson is the worst rated player on the field. 5.5. It just tells you everything you need to know. Just like we are still massive. Yeah, because I just see a comment coming in, which I'll come to Peter Tate Jr. there at the bottom. We are massive. And then when we play, like old players or whatever, they turn it on. Teams turn it on. We are everybody's cup final. Everybody loves beating Man United. Even though we haven't won now for 10, 11 years, Premier League-wise. Obviously, we've won just as many trophies as anybody else, apart from City. Like, but just not a Premier League. You know what I'm saying? Dean Henderson, Everton pick up an important 2-1 win. Crystal Palace take the lead. The winning at halftime through, who was he? Mark Gooey. And then McNeil, 2 off the belt, 7 minutes, boom, boom. And the hold out this time.
I think he's scored a few this season as well, hasn't he? That McNeil, I'm sure he's got a few goals. Just looking at it.
4. He's got 4, like.
I'm just looking at
United's got it in total.
Wait, I'm just looking at the comments there, and Reyes said one that a lot of people's been talking about lately, and they're saying, like, do you think Pep's regretting losing Palmer?
Gotta be. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at these comments because we are they're flying in the night. I love it. People love what the Meister and the flood on to see we'll always be here. We're not Toon fans. We don't just support when they're winning. Hey, lad, yeah, we're gone. Toon actually had better expected goals than City. You've done that. You doubt me, Melly. Honest as the day is long, he says. Hello, boys, says Terry. Hello, Terry, lad. You all right? So,
Terry.
Thanks for coming on. Ray Dunn, we are the new entertainers. Red and white. He's obviously meaning Sunderland. So I hear, Fazza. Come on, Porto and Villa. Is Pep regretting losing Palmer? Yes, he's got to be. I don't think he thought he was as good as he was, does he? He's gone to Chelsea and he's absolutely like... And this is why, like, anybody that tries to tell me that Gareth Southgate is the best England manager for decades is absolutely ludicrous. That man sat on the bench the whole Euros. The whole Euros. It's absolutely criminal. Had we had... Who was that player for Spain who was mint?
Lamel.
Aye. If he'd been English, he wouldn't have gotten a minute at that Euros. And he was the
too
player
young,
of the
isn't
tournament.
he? No, he's too young. He's too young. Too
young, aye. Honestly, and I'll stick by this. If Gareth Southgate comes anywhere near Manchester United, I'll never step foot as long as he's a manager. I don't care if we win the Premier League or whatever. I'm telling you, I will not go to Old Trafford. Not a chance. No chance. As much as I'm passionate about my team, he doesn't want to come anywhere near that ground. I'll be livid. Brighton made loads of mistakes at the back against Chelsea. They also could have scored 4 or 5. Says the Geordie Toon for life. You need to change that Geordie Toon for life. Geordie since 2022. Billy Noble, Craig Bellamy, that Jackson.
He's hot and cold, isn't he?
Aye, fair comment, Billy. Is your last on your Facebook tonight? You know when he tags crap, or you know you're getting to go at Man United, doesn't he? All I want to hear about is Man United win the league and Minu and Ugarte being the best players on the planet. Look, man, Ugarte's come in. Ten Hag said last month, right? He'll not be ready for at least 4 weeks. The next week, he's playing for his international team. It puts the pressure straight on the manager to put him in. But if he's playing for them, then he can play for us. He comes in, the Premier League's the fastest league in the world, and he's going to take time. He's going to take time to settle in. But I'll tell you what it is. I seen him last night. I don't know how he didn't get sent off last night, Gary. He's kicking the ball away. He's making late challenges after he's had the yellow card. He's gonna be like a Roy Keane, him. When he finds his feet. Peter, you little tinker. He's the one man that gets me going, him. You know that?
Oh, I know.
Xerxes on steroids. Xerxes last night, Jesus, he had a touch like I'm not sick, but like everything he was touching and passing, it was either short, it was bouncing off his shins. I thought, we've bought Peter Crouch here. We've bought
another Lukaku. It's another Lukaku.
Couldn't believe it. Massive, he says. Melly, you're funny. Everyone's big game. Look, everybody says this to us, but you're not this deep doing the Gary.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
In fact, I could feel myself getting proper upper height there, get into it and going, we are. But I'm not, because they know that we are still the biggest club in the world, despite what downward spiral of late. One thing we know is we will be back up, whereas yous won't. You can't even afford Mark Gooey, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go and poach in clubs for the under-21s and that. That's the level you're at. And the quicker you accept it, the better. The best thing about Newcastle is the stack.
it looks kind of good, that, like, doesn't it?
We'll see this weekend, will we, when they're going to Everton. Honestly, I'll put my life on the line that they get turned over at Goodison Park. Because like Man United, they turned up for Man City, the best they've played all season. But you've got to do that week in, week out to be considered like half decent, and they're not doing it. There's no one to manage us. We lost the chance to get Poch. Southgate will be your new boss. Mate, didn't say that, please. Geordie since 1958. All the summer signings are showing promising signs. Eddie Howe to leave the tune and manage England. I tell you what, Potter's on. I'm watching Bournemouth and Southampton here. Potter's on there tonight. It'll be interesting that whether like how to get said out. Lee Fairgrieve, Tom Watson want to watch another good youth from the mighty red and whites. We've caught up on the comments. How many games we've got left to go through? Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. We've touched on that. Forest 0, Fulham 1. Fulham again. Obviously, they won 3-1 the week before against Newcastle. And then they've went and beat Fulham there. They've went and beat Nottingham Forest there. So they're doing all right. They've had 2 draws, a loss, and then 2 wins, but the loss was in the AFL Cup, which will help them out. You know, like, are you going to win it? Probably not. So let's concentrate on the league. Yes, where are they standing? Fulham are sitting in 6th.
Not bad.
So they're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Doing all right. As we predicted, even when we beat them in the first game of the season, we said they were good.
No, I would say that. And we got laughed at, saying you only played against Fulham. But they were a decent outfit. Like
Newcastle
both, no, that's it. I mean, I like that Emile Smith-Rowe and I think it's that Reece Nelson, the 2 Arsenal kids, aren't they? And they've obviously settled in well. And that Raul Jimenez, I mean, a couple of seasons back before he got that bad injury, he was banging them in for Wolves, wasn't he? He's a decent player and he's getting a few goals for them. So, the decent side, they're picking points up. Good little manager, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Wolves 1, Liverpool 2. Could have went either way, that, I think. Canate scores. Al-Nouri or something scores ones each for Wolves, and then Mo Salah gets a penalty and converts.
Literally 60 seconds after they got the equaliser, and it was criminal not to get that pen away. He's all over the back and shot. That was stupidity. That's Semedo. Didn't really like him. But that El Nouri, cracking fullback,
fullback, isn't he?
He's really, really, really good. Deed tidy with the ball. He doesn't waste it ever. So they could have gotten some of it.
Should have. Puts Liverpool top somehow. I don't think they're
just grinding games out though, aren't they? Without hitting form, but when you expect them, when they do hit form, obviously they could be dangerous as well.
Liverpool.
They could be if they hit a bit of form.
They're gonna get. They're gonna get. I don't know. They're gonna hit a dip in form, I think. Let's move on to Sunday, although I didn't really want to, Gary. Ipswich 2, Aston Villa 2.
Well, we watched a bit of that game, didn't we? It wasn't a bad watch, to be fair.
O'Neill's knocked a couple of people out. Aston Villa, obviously, the favourites gone into that. You've got Delap scoring for Ipswich, put them in front. Rogers scores for Villa. Watkins makes it 2-1. And then Delap again, 2s each. Could have had a hat-trick though, couldn't he?
He could have. He went through. He missed a one-on-one before that one, didn't he? Which, I mean, that's the difference at that level, isn't it? It's missing chances. You can be punished. But a good point for them, really, I think. Good point.
Definitely. So we'll end it because obviously we're not doing the outcome of tonight's game on Man United 0, Tottenham 3 yesterday. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe what I started doing today from the off. It looked like we were playing give the ball away. Everybody, Delict, Dallow numerous times, Inana. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Martinez.
There was a sending off coming, whether it was Bruno or Garte. There was one coming because of the frustration. And those that were like given 100% was clear for everybody to see. If I think Bruno's was a sending off, absolutely not. It's a yellow at best. And for them not even to like check it, like I don't know, there's some kind of rule where it says like if they didn't think that he's in real, it's been made in an error, then they cannot overturn it or get involved. But it kind of did were good, I think, because if I hadn't conceded quite early on again in the second half, I watched the video the other day and it was true what the kid was saying. He says, early goals, being scored against us. So in the first half, they come out. The manager's team tag should be ringing in your ears, shouldn't it? Should be ringing in your ears. And within 3 minutes, we've conceded it's 1-0. So there's a game plan out the window straight away. But we deserve to be a goal down. We should have been 4-0 down within 25 minutes, if I've been totally honest. They absolutely tore apart. That Van der Ven runs through about 50 yards, gets to the goal line, crosses lower. Dalot's level with Johnson at one point. Let's not
before they enter the 18-yard box. He's level with them,
and he ends up with 10 yards in front of him for a top in.
He just stops, doesn't he? Dalot.
How is a professional footballer? Do you allow that?
It's unbelievable.
How do you get away with it? If that's you at work, right? And you need 100 boards up at the loft, and you bring 10 boards up all day. How long are you lasting at walk?
It's
criminal. By the end of the week. Isn't he good, man?
Oh, it is. Isn't
he good? How do they keep getting away with it? I don't understand. Is it too quick of a league for De Ligt? I think it is. Why is Harry Maguire being dropped? He did nothing wrong. I mean, I know he picked an injury up yesterday, but he's been dropped for De Ligt the last few games. He's been fantastic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Since the scenario with him and Ten Hag and getting dropped and losing, you end up losing the captaincy, but he showed professionalism and come through, and he's been one of the best players. You know when he's playing that it's going to be tight. You know what I mean? And he's getting dropped. De Ligt's come in. He's trying to outdo it. He's 100% in everything, and he's missing them. He's missing them.
It is getting to grips with the speed of the game and stuff, isn't it? So I can kind of let him off a little bit more than the others. But I mean, Martinez, he's had a very poor start of the season for me. I'm struggling to find words to describe it at the minute. But I've seen an interesting fact on Twitter the night there. And do you know that we've scored less goals in the 2 seasons and 6 games than what Ollie did in his first season? We've scored less goals.
Right. Let me just click on this. Would you bring Ollie back as the seasons?
No, I wouldn't. But I think it's a big issue. I think it's a big issue, and I think we need to do something, because in that season, I mean, you had Rashford, who probably scored the most goals he's ever scored in any season. And if you knock it, I mean, was that the season he brought Sancho in?
I think so. Yeah,
he brought Sancho in. And who was the other striker? That's it. Cavani, right? Mm-hmm. But if you remember what Cavani used to do, for being someone that wasn't a big player, but he held the ball so well and he brought everyone else in. And you think of Cavani was the oldest player on the pitch at times, and he was the one that he was going forward, but he was also running his arse back into the corner flag and making tackles. These didn't do that. No. That's the difference of the elite. Like Mo Salah, you'll see Mo Salah do that. He'll run all the way back and he'll be putting tackles in. Like Cole Palmer, he'll run all the way back. He doesn't think he's better than everyone else, even though he knows he is, but he still doesn't think he's got the given right not to work for the team, because he's a team player, and that's what we're lacking.
So that's answered my question. That's answered my my theory. Then it's the players. It's not Ten Hag.
1,000,000%, but
you can't be telling me he's sitting in that dressing room going, let's just take it easy and play it out from the
No, he's not. No. But
his philosophy at Ajax was quick passing, quick counter attacking. These lot, they're throwing another manager under the bus, and everybody's buying into it. Stack Ten Hag. The next guy's gonna come in and be the savior. He's not. Where Jose Mourinho, one of the best managers in the world football, man, sacked because the players chucked him under the bus. Mm-hmm. David Moyes, granted, he wasn't world's greatest manager, but He did well with Everton, and when you're inheriting a team like he did, and that wasn't the greatest, but still a lot better than what Everton is, sacked, chucked under the bus. Louis van Gaal, sacked, chucked under the bus. Ralph Ragnick, sacked, chucked under the bus. Ollie Solskjaer, sacked. You cannot keep doing it, man. And why?
No, you cannot. But what you do have to do is you have to start isolating the problems. Like if you think the problem's Rashford, like if you remember Pep a couple of years back, what was the fullback called, the Portuguese one? He was Cancelo. He was probably one of the best players for like about 2 seasons. He stepped through the line once, but he was froze from the team, and he was sent to the loan to Bayern Munich in January.
But Gary,
and they paid 60 odd million. Like
Sancho, like you've
got to keep doing it. You've got to get rid of them.
So he gets grief. So you get grief if you do, and you get grief if you didn't. It's an unthankful job being Man United coach. But listen, we'll move on, Gary, because honestly, I didn't even want to get into like the whole game, and people they'll be sick of talking about Man United. But there's problems at Man United, and I think that you cannot just keep calling for the manager. Yes, he's getting things wrong, but he's not getting half as much wrong as these players are week in, week out.
No, but something's got to change, hasn't it? That's what we'll end on that.
Something has to change. Right? Why not bring these kids that they've got? Strikers. Bring them in and give them a chance. We need a goal scorer. Xerxes could be a Cavani, like you've just said. Once he gets the grips with it, hold it up, bring players into it. We've got Garnacho, we've got Ahmad. Like, he's dropping Ahmad to keep everybody happy to play Rashford. You're right what you're saying. Like, he does need to make decisions and stick to them. But sacking him is not going to solve anything, because the next guy will come in, will do all right for 68 games. He'll start losing games, and everybody will want him out. And then it's just constantly like this, over and over and over again. Stick with him. We nearly sacked Fergie,
Oh, no.
He was 1 game away from the sack, and we didn't.
You see that, Gallon. It's all right when you see that.
Once people buy into his system, mate, we'll be good. It's as simple as that. We'll be good. Snappy bin de bars. We'll quickly go through these. Forest was our dip, says Kai Rowley. Ipswich played well. Like I said, they gave City a good game. Rough fixtures for them. Ipswich are this season's Luton. Shame. Was like Gazabe's debut for the Horn, says Ferry. Spurs played the same way the fake United used to play. Press from the opposition's box. Pressure makes mistakes. Maguire, better player, must be. Yeah, a club that buys other big clubs, cast off, can't outspend everyone like the 90s and 2000s. Glenn, you're wrong, because we can. We make a lot of money, unlike you. You can't buy anybody. Never mind. Glenn Essex, there's my centre back, man.
You're not touching on that. You're not touching on that. Did Newcastle not want a Langer? Man, Newcastle stuff.
Aye.
They went into like 60 million.
Like back then, if somebody had a good player, we would take them. Like Berbatov, Andy Cole.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we did. We recruited from the Premier League. Now they think they need to recruit from foreign leagues. You don't need them, man. It's okay, man. You've seen it all. You've won the lot. Exactly, Martin. And don't ever forget it. Something your eyes, unfortunately, will never, ever see. Sorry. David Tuttle, players need to stand up and graft. Can't just keep blaming managers. Too many big-time Charlies on big money. Mate, honestly, you've hit the nail on the head. It's exactly what it is. Was criminal not starting that, man. That kid has some talent, mind. Totally agree with you. That's one thing that I agree with. Ahmad is, he would get in front of Garnacho and Marcus Rashford for me. So it would be between them two who started. Ahmad would be first on the team sheet at the minute. He's a threat. He knows where the net is. But he also, it's like his touch, it's stuck to his foot. He never seems to lose it, does he? He's
class. He's been
class.
meant for us.
He really is. 55 minutes in, Gary. Absolutely amazing, that. So we'll go on to next week's fixtures. Do we have anything in through the week? Yes. Sunderland are at home to Derby on Tuesday night. And Middlesbrough away to West Brom. That'll be a good game. If Borough can get something good of that, Sunderland win at home. Sunderland could be top, and Middlesbrough could be sitting in the playoffs. Happy days. Yeah, you've got the Champions League this week. Aston Villa against Bayern. That's good for Villa fans, isn't it? You know,
it is. It's class.
You got Bayern Munich coming home. Unbelievable. Liverpool have got Bologna at home. Thursday we have the Europa League. I'm not tired about that.
What's Ferry saying there? Let's do the what?
City away to Bratislava on Tuesday. Yes. Let's the Horns. Is it the Horns? Derby.
The Derbies.
Exactly. Unlucky Martin Gallen. Nice fence at St. James's. Yeah, with the catering van, you seen it.
Aye.
In the back.
Class.
Go. I used to be able to anyone.
Oh, the Rams, man.
Come back, man. Come back, man, Glenn. Don't worry. Didn't mean he'll get man of the match since he's best midfielder in the league. No, you went off injured.
Right, half time.
He's all right. Actually, I haven't heard now about him. Bruno getting sent off. Maybe he's with the world of good. He'll have a good rest. He'll not like not playing. That's for sure. And I think Mason Mount will come in, and I don't know. I just like the way Mason Mount started this season. The Rams, man, that's who they are, aren't they? Derby, the Rams. Right. Yes, Chris Derby.
Hello, Derby. Good name, daughter.
The only son after Man United. Chester.
Good name, daughter.
Men name daughter. Unreal.
Aye, well done.
It's equivalent of a 147 in snooker. What do you think's harder, a 9 daughter or a 147 in snooker?
Wait,
would be harder to get. We'll never get one, but what do you think would be harder? Derby.
Wait, a 9 darts, 9 darts. How many shots is a snooker?
I know, but hit 9 perfect darts. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's good.
I haven't seen any results from yesterday. Can you fill me in, please? Derby, if you just press rewind at the bottom of the screen here, where am I? Front here. Press rewind. We've just done it, pal. The Rams, man. Aye, that's it. 147 by a country mile, says Glen Essex. I'd like to get everybody else's thoughts on that. Just quickly, though, because people are paying to keep this going, and we do appreciate it. We're going to run the adverts, 3 minutes, grab a cup, I come back, and we'll go through this weekend's fixtures. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets in Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets in Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. Mates Rates Pro Cleaning, professional internal and external cleaning, both residential and commercial. Follow them on all social media platforms or call Nick on 07423 33496 during working hours. And last but not least, most cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 077787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Right, just hold on 2 minutes because I need to quickly put Instagram back on. Yeah, Command V. Changes. Instagram. Yeah. Work. You alive. Gary's not back, like. That's it. We're on. It's in your own time, lad. Are you ready? You ready, dude?
I am. I want to get myself a cuppa, like you said.
Been waiting 5 minutes, man. Just quickly, I just want to go and flick through these quickly. Share. Have a look. So I never liked this kid, but I thought this was funny.
I cannot believe what Van der Ven has done. He's run from the back to the front, tossed the ball to the back post, and Brennan Johnson's got to tap in. Where's the fucking discipline?
Whoever put this
in
on
this
his
team?
mint.
Where's the concentration in this team? Absolutely incredible. Fucking idiots. Do you know what that comes from? Rashford and Garnacho running away from the fucking ball. We were in possession of the ball. We've got the break, and Rashford and Garnacho just switch off. And then no one tackles Van der Ven, and it is meant to be marking Brennan Johnson here. Absolute fucking idiots. It's like watching a fucking hippo on roller skates all over the fucking place.
I did. He comes up with some coca one-liners, doesn't he? He comes up with some coca one-liners. Him, you know. What's the other one?
Yeah, we're gone. This was passed from Pep, by the way.
Like this Murphy, exactly. Listen, I have a lot of, but you know, for many years I'm here. He's many years as well. So Bournemouth and the other one. So I said to him how I admire him for the way he approached the game. And first, in a high pressing, the team is so direct. So they have a lot of like with Murphy. He's actually no as well, Gordon Barnes. So we control them really, really well in most of part of the game, especially when we play so high. You know, Bruno and Joelinton and the physicality, Tonali, and after the central defender so high. This is so difficult team. So we know in Newcastle last season struggling a bit for just one reason, for a lot of injuries that they had. Otherwise, the team will compete really well. And you know, when you are a manager for many years, you a lot of times and it's, you know, never create problems. The press conference always polite for the opponents, like we try to do as a club. So why should not be? So I admit that we would like to win, we draw, they deserve as well. So, and yeah, we take the point both.
It's not often you get a manager like that, is it, Gary?
Listen, I have a lot of, but you know, for many years.
Good crack, that. Good crack. Fabrizio Romano, Timber, when asked about Rodri coming to too many games, I totally agree with his point of view. It's a big topic at the dressing rooms in the minute, not only at City and Liverpool, but also our dressing room. What do you make of that, Gary?
Aye, we had too many games, isn't there, really? And then there's stuck more European games in. Obviously, that's one to a different format where now you play 8 group games. So that's an extra 2 games like for each team straight away. It's too much. And then obviously we spoke to that guy on the train on the way to Brighton, and apparently I don't know if many people know, but then next year there's a Club World Cup, isn't there? That's going to come in straight after the season finishes, like pre-season sort of thing. And well, look, I mean, Rodri's injured. He's the one that was highlighting it at the beginning of the season, and he's the one ultimately that's paid the prices for the rest of the season. Just overplaying, isn't it?
Aye, I've got a different point of view. I'd play 7 days a week for $500,000, but
so would I. But it's obviously taking its toll on players, isn't it?
aye. On the other side, always seeing a dip in the game, just the talents because of it. Would we see a better game if there was less games and they were more fit? There's loads of.
I think so. I can't even play 5-a-side twice a week, and I pull my hamstrings. So
True. True, but these are professionals, they're ultimate professionals, and I'd like to get people's points of view, see what you think. Barca have agreed a new deal with Mark Burnell, valid until June 2029. New release clause, 500 million quid.
Jesus.
Shares need to Barcelona. Here we go. Deal in place for the Polish goalkeeper to join as a free agent. Good backup keeper, to be fair.
I think does Ter Stegen, is he getting like a big injury or something? Is that why they've done that? I'm sure he did, I think that's what happened last week. So it must be an emergency loan, that.
I couldn't comment, to be honest. I
think so. I think that's what it was.
Manchester United are currently not considering sacking Eric Ten Hag. There are no conversations about this at the moment. Thank the Lord. Honest thoughts on Bruno Fernandes. I think we've covered that. Premier League table as per game week 4. That's from last week, isn't it? Yes, so we'll stop sharing that. We'll get rid of that. Happy days. Right, let's quickly move on. And now on 10 minutes. Let's move on to the fixtures this weekend. It starts at Crystal Palace, who host Liverpool. What are you going for? And what are you going for in the comments as well, please?
Am I right in thinking Palace normally do right against Liverpool? I'm gonna take a Palace 2-1.
Palace 2-1. I think you're right, mate.
Early kickoff.
Early kickoff, aye. Mm-hmm. But I have to show this message though quickly. We'll do the messages actually quickly. But professional dart player Chris Dobie says 147 harder without a doubt. There you go. Billy Noble said 147 in snooker. Have you not seen Ted Lasso? Dave Armstrong had a couple in my time, mate. All right, Dave. JT Toon, Meliari Mara, hope you're well. I am, mate. I hope you two are too. Give it one, man. Too many games, my arse. If you sign for a big club, then you play more games. Yeah. Billy Noble has gone for 3-0 to Liverpool. Glenn Essex is going for 3-1 to Liverpool. And Martin Gallen. Must be horrible, you now being the massive club you were years ago to now being bang average club. Has Pete Tate got your phone? What do you think the score will be? How am man? Grow up. Lee Fairgrieve, 2-1. Who Lee Fairy? Oh, son. Dave Armstrong has gone for Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0. I'm going to go for Jesus. I want Palace to win.
Fairy's gone Palace.
Fairy's gone Palace. He has. I'm going to go on Palace now. I'm going to go Gary 2-1. Palace. Let's move on. Hence the 2 is first low. Little tinker. Arsenal against Southampton. What you going for?
Ooh, convincing home win. I'm going to say Arsenal 3, Southampton 0.
I think I'm going to go for Arsenal haven't got any games. Oh, they have. Arsenal playing PSG. The Mon. At home. Ooh, I'm going to go for ones each. Arsenal 1, Southampton 1. Martin Gallen went for Palace 2. Liverpool 1. Glenn Essex is saying 3-0 Arsenal. Ooh, 3-0 to Arsenal, says Billy Noble. As does Lee Fairgrieve. As does Dave Armstrong. Jesus. Your time is up. Leanne 0 and the kids 5. Do it quickly. Martin Gallen, Arsenal 4-0. I'm going to go one each. Brentford Wolves quickly.
Brentford Wolves. I'm going to go Brentford 1, Wolves 1.
Yes, I can see it being a score draw. I'll go for a couple of goals each, though. I'm going to go for a Desmond Tutu. Billy Noble said ones each. Glenn Essex. Why did I say Essex? Glenn Essex has gone for 2-1 to Brentford. Dave Armstrong's gone for 2-1 Brentford. Lee Fairgrieve has gone for 1-0 to Brentford. And Martin Gallen has gone for 2-1 to Brentford. So a lot of love for Brentford there. Moving on. Leicester against Bournemouth. What are you going for, Gary?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win. Leicester is going to pip them.
Let's just pull this back off. There we go. Just waiting on some coming in. Glenn Essex has gone ones each. Dave Armstrong has also gone ones each. Billy Noble and Martin Gallen have both gone for... Oh, no. Billy Noble's gone 2-1 to Leicester. Martin Gallen's gone 2-1 to Bournemouth. I'm going to go for 1-1. Definitely. Score draw. Man City against Fulham. Fulham at home. Man City, obviously, away to Slovan Bratislava tomorrow.
I think they could beat them in their sleep, though, couldn't they? I still think. I think City 3-1.
City 3-1.
Aye.
They didn't lose at home, do they?
Not really. Only when they're playing Man U.
I need picking my heat, not my heart. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Man City. Ferry has gone for 2-1 to Fulham. Glenn Essex has gone for 3-0 to City. Dave Armstrong's gone for 3-1 to City. Billy Noble's gone for 4-0. Martin Gallen has gone for 2-0. Lee Fairgrieve has gone for 3-0. Nobody sees an upset apart from Ferry. You get good odds for that, Ferry. West Ham against Ipswich.
I'm going to see a draw. West Ham just struggling to find a win at the minute, aren't they? So I'm going to say Ipswich is going to nick a point. 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
I think West Ham will win that 3-1. I'm going for. Barry's saying no, man. That's Bournemouth. He thinks it'll be 3-0 to City. Billy Noble 2-2. Glenn Essex 2-1. Dave Armstrong has gone for ones each. Martin Gallen has gone for 2-0 to West Ham. So you're going for a draw? Yep. I'm going for a West Ham win. Ending Saturday is the 5:30 kickoff down on Merseyside, the better side of Merseyside. It is Everton and Newcastle. Did I put Fairies in there? 2s each.
So 5:30 kickoff. Right.
Everton against Newcastle. How do you see it going?
I'm going to see another draw. 1-1.
1-1?
Aye.
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Everton. Dave Armstrong, 2-1 Newcastle. Billy Noble, 3-1 to the Toon. 2-0 to the Toon, says Glenn Essex. Martin Gallen, 3-2 to the Toon. Lee Fairgreaves gone for 4-0 Everton. Terry Haglund's gone for 3-1 to the Toon. Martin Spaulding has gone for 3-1 to the Toon. Newcastle's got it in them to win. If they put the same performance on they did against City, then they probably will win. But Everton's had a bit of form. They've had a draw. They've had a win. And I'm sure they beat them last year, didn't they? Head to head.
They might have done. You're forgetting now, Everton, like obviously rather than the little lapse in concentration, they were winning the other 2 games like 2-0 up, and then they've lost like to 3 goals, 2 games running. Like
But
you forget
last week.
No. But so
the last game at Everton, it was 3-0 Everton.
Was it?
Aye, against the Toon.
Jesus.
That was what was it? December. Aye, so good guy either way. Let's see. That takes what on Sunday. In the Premier League on Sunday, we've got Aston Villa at the 2:00 kickoff. Man United, obviously, travel to Aston Villa. How do you see that game?
Both teams, is Villa playing away to Bayern or they're at home? Or
Home.
They're at home. I mean, it's still got to be a tough game for them. That I think we'll get Summit. I think he's got to tighten it up. I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I couldn't do it.
Comments aren't disappointing, like. Hey, lad. Right, here we're going. Glenn Essex, 3-0 Villa. Billy Noble, 4-0 Villa. Martin Spaulding, 4-0 Villa. Martin Gallen, 7-1 Villa. Dave Armstrong, 2-0 Villa. Terry Haglund, 3-0 Villa. Lee Fairgreave, 2-0 Villa, unfortunately. What did he go for?
1-1.
1-1. Nah, I think we're going to win 3-1. Hey, Martin, only thing Man U gets Sunday is 10 clowns paying P45. You could be right, Martin. You could be right, lad. I think if they get beat off Porto and then they go and get beat off Aston Villa, it's given them 2 weeks to try and put something into place. It's a bigger game than what, many.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Biggest game. See, it's Billy. Honestly, I love doing this. Being Man U fans in the Northeast, it's just banter in it. It's football, man. It's just crack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. How do you see it gone?
Oh, I think Chelsea will win that 4-1.
Oh, Bournemouth are 1-0 up.
Is that who Gallen's got?
Aye, Gallen's got them. Got a free kick here, 30 yards out. And it's cleared. So far, so good, Gallen. You're still in, lad. Chelsea against Forest. How did you see it gone?
4-1, I said.
4-1. So is Glenn Essex. So is Billy Noble. Chelsea flying 4-0, says Martin Spaulding. 3-1 to Chelsea, says Dave Armstrong. Martin Gallen's gone for 4-2 to Chelsea. Yeah, I can't see no else apart from, 3-0 win, maybe. Lee Fairgreaves gone for 3-1. Aye. Chelsea's firing on all cylinders. Be typical, though, wouldn't it, of Chelsea to mess it up?
Chelsea of the past, but I don't know, the setting up, accepting to concede goals, just thinking that we'll score more. I think it's a great attitude to have, and it's entertaining football, isn't it? That's ultimately what that new owner's wanting to do. He's wanting to put a show on for his fans, and whether that means we're just going to outscore the opposition. Fair plays. It's probably good to watch.
Mm-hmm. They're going to win at Stamford Bridge at the weekend against Brighton, but The last Premier League home game, they obviously drew with Crystal Palace, 1 each. And that was after beating Wolves 6-2 away from home. So they seem to be a bit of a different animal away from home than what they are at Stamford Bridge, but we shall see, because it's Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest obviously are coming off the back of a 1-0 loss to Fulham. The last win was obviously Liverpool away from home, which, been quite good away from home. Chelsea haven't been so good at home. Let's see. Terry Hagnerton's gone for 3-1 at Chelsea. Martin Gallen leads 5-0. What's he on about? Must be playing Sunderland, are they? We'll have a look at that in a minute. Hi, Nelly. It's Bill. Hi, Bill. You all right, son? You got to bed soon. Have a stay, kid. Bless him. Right. I don't think there's any games on the Monday. Nah. So, ending the Premier League this week, we've got Brighton against Tottenham. Brighton seem to be having a lot of home games. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jesus, they've had 5. This will be their 6th home game since the season
out of 7
started.
games. Out of 7.
But obviously you've got the EFL Cup in there as well.
Oh, right.
But they do seem to be at home quite a lot. How do you say that, Gan? I think Tottenham, obviously, coming off the back of beating one of the biggest clubs in world football, will be on cloud 9 because they beat Forest the week before as well. I think Tottenham will go down there and they'll win 2-1.
I don't think it's an easy ground to go to. I'm gonna say a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Aye.
Right.
I think Brighton will get something.
Let's see what the comments are saying. Glenn Essex has gone for 2s each. So is Martin Spaulding. Billy Noble's a bit more optimistic for Spurs. He's gone for 5-2. Martin Gallen thinks Spurs will nick it 2-1. Dave Armstrong's gone the opposite. He's gone 2-1 to Brighton. Lee Fairgrieve has gone 2s each. So that's the Premier League tied up. What we think and what you think. The Championship, Watford, Middlesbrough travelled down to Watford. Sunderland, the other North East team, went down there at the weekend, couldn't get anything. Can Middlesbrough, Gary?
I think Middlesbrough can do that, and I think they'll get at least a point.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Martin Gallen was on about before when he said Leeds 5-0, because the Friday night game is Sunderland at home to Leeds. How do you see that, Gan? Let's give you a little bit of form, Gary. Let's give you a little bit of form. So Leeds are on a kind of streak, to be fair. They've won 4 of the last 5. Sunderland have won 3 of the last 5. I'm going to go for a Sunderland win. I'm going to go for 2-1 at Sunderland.
I'm going to take Sunderland as well. I think they'll win a 2-1 in front of the home fans. Tell you what, by the way, that young winger, that Rig, what a player he is.
Sunderland.
Aye, really good. Watched him in the derby last weekend against Borough. He scores a little back heel finish. What a player! He looks good in.
They've always had a good junior section, Sunderland, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Always been better than Newcastle's. Apparently, according to one of my pals. No, honestly, I'm not getting the piss. Like, back in the background at Newcastle, apparently it's all gone pear-shaped. The under-21s had just finished the game, right? Or the under-18s. And the under-21s were struggling, so they had to chauffeur 2 or 3 under-18s to the under-21 game to play for them, for Newcastle. It's bonkers, isn't it?
Seeing the lads in the comments here, they're saying apparently Riggs a massive Toon fan as well, so we'll sign him soon.
His family are, aren't they?
Is he?
So he probably will be as well. But that just goes to show you he's a massive Toon fan, and he chose the Sunderland Academy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, they chose him, and Newcastle missed him.
Newcastle missed him. Like that kid from Morpeth who's playing for Liverpool. Should we need kid locally ever leaves this area? Like, we've got a Premier League, we've got Championship teams. Like, get them in. The recruitment needs to be better at the bottom because that's where it comes from. Look at the class of 92. You know what it is? You know, like, they give us some of our best years, mate. They were kids. Give them a chance. They're good enough. They're old enough. Billy's coming in late saying Liverpool will win 2-1. Leeds 3-0, Glen Essex. Sunderland dominated, played well other than a silly pen. 22-0. Noble saying Martin Spaulding 2-1 Borough, 3-1 Leeds. 1973 Cup. Smacking bastards 2-0. Oh, he's changed his mind. We beat them, man. Rig loves the tune. Rig's a massive tune fan as well. We'll sign him soon. Leeds win whatever way they can, hopefully. I think Sunderland 1, Leeds 2. Hey, there's a kid watching, you know. I guess all the way to bed then. Sunderland always have had a better academy. Tom Watson, he's another one. Class Man United getting Patterson. I'm not being a Karen. They chose him. Same as Carrick, left for West Ham. Exactly. I think Shearer started off in Southampton, didn't he?
He got released by Newcastle, did he not? And then went to Southampton.
Wow.
Oh, does he? All right.
Ferry saying Rig loves Sunderland. His mum and dad are Toon fans, but can't get into the ground for the fence. Hey, Newcastle never wanted me shite. That's why he's at the Magnums.
Do people know what the fence is?
Team, not the Manchester second team.
Does everyone know what the fence is or not?
Eh?
Does everyone know what the fence is? So that...
Oh, yeah. Half of them bang their knees and waist off them every game, man, you know, when they're coming out and rushing out. Yeah. Could you imagine?
Shut up, the fence.
Hey, lad, imagine not running like everything around your ground, man. It's just a schoolboy error, isn't it? That's why they need to move. So that's what we're gonna say. Looks like they're building a new utility arena, doesn't it, Gary? That's what we're gonna tell somebody on the train the other day coming back. Just in front of the old one. I think if that happens, St. James's Park is gonna be moved down by the Tyne. The River Tyne.
Like where the arena is now.
Aye. I think
straight off Scotswood Road, isn't it?
All that waste ground. It'll just that's where I think it'll go. Let's just quickly go back to this. Martin Gallen. Paula says you should support the local team, not the Manchester second team. Well, if I was going to support my local team, it would be Ashton, right?
But you do support them?
Aye. But like these people that keep saying you should support Newcastle. Newcastle's the local Premier League team. So if you're looking for glory, then support, that's why not support Ashton? Why does Martin not support Ashton? Why does all these lads here not support Ashton and rather than Newcastle? Like I said earlier on, it was young Hiji took me and his dad to United. And that was it. I fell in love. Been a United fan since. Always will be. But I put my money where my mouth is. I've gone to Old Trafford for years. I might not have a season ticket for years like I have lately. I'm in a good position at the minute. So I'm able to do it. Football matches are expensive. They're not cheap. But since 91, I've gone to Old Trafford, whether it be once a season, twice a season, whatever. But my loyalty has never, ever wavered, and it never, ever will. I'll be at Villa on Sunday. United, even with my crap. That's the difference. Martin's only started again since 2022, man.
They're saying in the comments here, apparently the Reuben brothers has bought that land next to the arena, and apparently that's not going to be the arena.
Not.
So, no, but the Reuben brothers are shareholders in Newcastle, aren't they? So I wonder if it's got something to do with that.
Too little for the Toon Stadium. We're saying that like they'll probably fill it. Hey, champion, instead of punching horses, they can jump in the time series. Very New arenas next to Millennium Bridge on the Gateshead side. So what they're building there then?
I don't know. well on the way, though, isn't it?
I was reading the Reuben brothers bought that land where the arena is. One of Ashington's legends played for the Fake United, so a lot of fans can support them. Absolutely, you should see my new flag. It's Northumberland Red. It's like the one I've got. It's got Sir Bobby in the streets of Ashington, returning from the '66 World Cup. United on this side, but in the middle of the Manchester United Football Club badge, we've got the Northumbrian colours. We've got Ashington, Elton, Felton written here. Northumbrian Reds. It's class. Keep an eye out for the telly. Can never knock you two for your support, to be fair. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. NUFC get a new setup at Gossie. Oi, oi, the tune, says Michael Henderson. Yeah, right, mate. Martin Spaulding says, I think the stadium will have to be built out near airport, plenty of fields. That's the one good thing that Newcastle's got, isn't it? Like, is the way fans love coming because it's literally in the city centre. You can have a drink in the street, boom, you're in the stadium. Whereas most of the stadiums that we go to are rooted in the ones, aren't they? Whereas Newcastle's not. You don't want to lose that. It's a massive plus, isn't it?
Aye, definitely.
But they could go into two more, couldn't they?
I don't know. And now the Reuben brothers, obviously, where the ministry used to be, which is just behind the training ground. Obviously, the ministry's moving to the city centre, isn't it? So, I mean, that's a big old area, that, like behind where Blue Flames and that is. So, I mean, you could potentially put it there. I mean, they own the racecourse as well, don't they? So you could have it there. It's not that far from the city centre, and you've got obviously like the train lines and stuff like that. So you could put the transport on. You could like connect the two quite easily.
Dave Armstrong saying there was a plan drawn showing a new ground down where the arena is, lads, on there with the land around it all, car parks. The other one was on the Ministry at Gosrafa, which is massive.
That's the one I'm going to...
Rubens of Gossie Park, that's where the new setup will be. It'll be like the city complex. Look, like Gossie Park seems like the place to be. You know, like they could literally create something out of this world. Because I am envious of City. When we went to City away, they had the stadium, had a bridge running our
to the training ground
in the other stadium and stuff, and it was just everything was in one. Wanted 4 lanes on the motorway. Out. There was it was a fantastic setup. When we are miles behind in that manner, Newcastle could potentially have that, which would propel them. Because I know that they have banner and stuff. But I know that also if you build a 90,000 seater stadium, you'll fill it 100%.
And then that's more revenue, isn't it? That's more revenue. It's more revenue, especially if that's how Chelsea get away with like a lot of revenue, because like they built like hotels and stuff around the stadium at Stamford Bridge, but that is part of Chelsea. It's not like Hotel Football in Hilton. It's part of Chelsea. If Newcastle does something similar to that, you're just generating income. So it'd be crazy not to take that with both hands, I think.
Bournemouth too, Southampton nil as well.
Go on, Gallon.
Right. Reuben brothers own the ministry land as well, so it's possible. Right. I'm going to have to get in because it seems like the Waltons are kicking off. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back next Monday night at the same time as 7 o'clock. Aye, Gary, does that suit you?
Aye, yep.
Aye, because I think we'll get back from Villa Boot. Cheers, everybody. Good night. Cheers, Gary.
Good night. Ta-ra.